Let me do another example of what to do to create a logbook from your planner. Remember, a planner tells you what is going to happen. That's this gray stuff over here. What to do, where to get stuff, when it's going to happen, what type of submittal, when it's due, things like that. And then that's a planner. And a logbook is your report to somebody, in this case your instructor, that you've got it done and what the status is and how well it went. That's a logbook, and it's a really important method of communicating to other people in your team. So, how do we do that? Let's say I've got the first one all done, weeks 1 and 2, and I've got it all filled out. Now I'm ready to do the next one. Well, remember, I asked to see just stuff, say, for week 3. So I could go, let's see, I want to find just stuff with week 3 in it. So if I copy that, and I did a Control C, and I go and search a filter for by condition with the text that contains something, I should be able to find just, oh, look at that. Those ones, just the ones we're looking for that are week 3 appear. So that's a really important skill to take a lot of information and filter it down to what you want to present right now. So now I've got it all filtered down. I'm in shape. I'm ready to go. And remember, you're doing this on your own copy. So let's see. Did I do the site work terminology quiz? Yes. It took me about maybe half an hour. And I've even submitted it and it was graded. And not only that, if I were to do it again, I could do it without help. And site work is what? It's describing material of construction. It's terminology describing construction. So I can say it matches up with that one. That one wasn't standards, wasn't material research, and I didn't really do much research on that. I just read the stuff. Okay, so I'd say that one was describe materials. Oh, here's one, site work standards. That was about the same. Took me about half an hour. And not only that, it's graded because I turned it in and it graded it. And I could do that again pretty well. But now this one is about standards. So I think I'll put standards in on that. And it can be more than one. It can be more than one. Now I've got compaction. Study the slide deck and take the quiz. Well, the compaction covered a bunch of different things. And so I think I'm going to say there was some materials of construction because it talked about soil and there was a little bit about standards. And that quiz got graded right away, and I could go through that independently again. Now I've got research. That one, oh, and this one took me about half an hour. Now, the research demonstration, that's where we were just chatting about it and talking about it and doing things together on the board, and that one took a good hour. We spent an hour on that, and it could be that you've just submitted your study notes, and maybe you could help some. You could do that independently again, but maybe you'd like some help, so I'll put that one down there. And that was definitely about materials of construction, and it was about research definitely. And that was developing workplace skills that we talked about how to take study notes and how to critically read something. So that one was definitely developing your workplace skills. And now we've got your compaction information, and that was a file. That was your poster. And so that one probably took about an hour, and maybe you've submitted that. That one you're probably pretty independent on. And so that one was um, also research materials, describe materials, and we talked a lot about kind of like the formatting so it would work in the workplace. So there's that. So now, if I were to submit this, it's no longer just a course planner, it's a logbook because you have done a review of how long it took you and what your status is, and you're reporting on your level of mastery. And then you're also tying it to some objectives. That is an excellent example of a logbook. So that's how to change your course planner into a logbook. And now I'm going to print it. So, because it says to turn it in as a PDF. So here we go as a PDF. I'm just going to do this current sheet, and I'm going to do it as it's filtered. And it's 11 by 17. That's what fits the best, and it's landscape. And here's an important one: fit to width. I need it to fit to width. Everything else looks okay. It looks like it's going to fit. And then I'll save it as a PDF. I could print it to PDF, Adobe PDF. I'll just save it as a PDF. Now, depending on your computer, it'll make you print it or allow you to save it. This all depends on your computer printer setup. So what I'm doing right here, this one might be a little bit different. And then save and put it somewhere that you can keep it and know where it is. I have my Google Drive desktop set up so I can save it right into my Google Drive. That is the coolest thing ever. I can get things from it and turn things back in and things like that. So let me go to my coursework. And this one happened to be for Design 300, so I'll put it in a Design 300, and I'll actually make a new folder for my logbooks. And I could call this my self-review logbook week 3. So there's a little example of how you would go about and doing this. And of course, now you would submit that into your Canvas module that asks for it. So again, the course planner is this gray part over here, the gray columns. And it tells you a bunch of information about what's going to happen and when it's going to happen and how to turn it in. And the right-hand part, when it's filled out, it acts as a logbook. All right. Oh, and if I want to get back to my full view, I go to Remove Filter. And there we go. Now I can see the whole thing again. All right. Hope that helps out for those of you who are still wondering how to do this logbook thing. It's an important skill in industry. It's not commonly taught. People just think you know how to do it, and I happen to think that this is actually a very important thing, so it's worth teaching you. So if you have any questions, give me a call. Do the best you can. I'll give you some markups. Remember, if there's something missing or incorrect, I'll mark it up and you can resubmit it. Also remember, though, that this is part of your work in preparing for the next week. And so I don't give late credit. So you need to get something turned in. There we go.